That's pretty.
Dad, look how cute they are.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Take the picture. Last time. Yeah. When I first I get somebody else stand here. There we go. I probably could. I don't worry about the stars coming after me now. That's probably oh man, these dogs are nice. Oh, they showed you they got fishing with the boat. They did this in the show we had last Is there a microphone thing in the back? You gotta turn that on the receiver. We need somebody to talk. There's a receiver for the camera.
He's loud and
I see what a guy does, guys.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First, I want to thank you guys all for coming out and supporting our K9 division, our PACE team, and our TRT team. It means a lot to us. A lot of our units are completely funded off of donations, being K9 being one of us. First, I'm going to introduce myself. I am Corporal Claude. I'm the supervisor of the K9 division. I've been a K9 handler for about 12 years, 12 years now. I'm with my second partner, K9 Hulk, who is a German Shepherd Belgian Malinois mix. I'm going to introduce our K9 division here now, starting with Corporal Bradley. He's partnered with K9 Caro. We got Deputy Moore, partnered with K9 Cabo. Deputy Deaver, partnered with K9 Durant. He's got me. Deputy Murray with K9 Hector. This is how this is going to go. I'm going to talk for a minute, tell you about some training, some experience, some of our equipment, then you'll see the dogs. If I just bring the dogs out, show you guys everything that they can do, you guys will leave and never hear what I had to say. And I'm selfish, and I want you to wait. So, first we're going to start with the K9 division itself. We're comprised of 5 dogs, as you just saw. They're all dual-purpose dogs, meaning they're all trained in narcotics and fight work. Tracking, building searches, handler protection, all those kind of things. Someone's leaving, they said. The reason why we get a common question about why don't we have a bomb dog? Well, Portage County doesn't have a bomb problem. We have a drug problem. So, and at the cost of each dog at $15,500, we want to use your donation money to its fullest potential. So we get dual-purpose dogs trained in narcotics. Those narcotics are going to be crack cocaine, regular cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and all of its derivatives. What that means is, taking heroin, for example, it is an opiate. So our dogs will also alert to fentanyl, oxycodone, Percocet, and so forth. And in the realms of methamphetamine, they will alert to ecstasy, Adderall, anything that has that same similar compound.
Wow.
Common misconception that we have about these dogs. Wait, I didn't introduce you to Hulk yet, did I?
No.
Let me get Hulk.
Right there.
Here, so this is K9 Hulk. My apologies for not introducing him to you. Let me touch on what these dogs get paid for. How do they want to work? Play a game with us all the time. Well, my motivation is money. Every 2 weeks, Friday being one of them, is payday. That's how I keep going. I get completely rejuvenated, I'm ready to go. For the dogs, it's their favorite toy. They don't get that toy unless they do what they're told, play the game, win the game. So as you notice, the dogs are not vicious. There's all these people here He came out, his main focus is me. I'm the funnest thing in his entire life. Funnest. The most funnest. A little bit funner than my daughter, but not that much. Okay? But the funnest in his life. So he will be completely obedient to me, come to me, look for me. He's not looking to bite anybody. He's not looking to do anything else, but do what I said. So I told him to come to me, which he did. I told him to down, which he's doing. So should I pay him?
Yes.
Let's see if he gets really excited about this toy. You think he likes this toy?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you a little story about this toy. This toy here, he's had the black Kong before, which is supposed to be super extreme. Chewed through it, swallowed it, $5,000 surgery.
Oh my.
Someone left a black Kong toy out at my house. There's only 3 of us that lived there, and it wasn't me. I'm not pointing fingers, though. Chewed that one in half. Swallowed it whole. Another surgery. So he has no self-preservation at all. This toy here, I got off Amazon for $15, and I've had it for 3 years. Sure, he's probably getting some weird Chinese cancer, but the toy is still here. Let me put him up so I can talk some more.
I'd say he loves that toy.
Anyways, Amazon's my best friend. I digress. These dogs, each of them can do the same exact thing. I have the microphone, and I'm doing the most talking, so I can do the easier parts. That was one of the easier parts. Every single one of these sounds can do the same exact thing. You also notice the dog didn't have any reaction to these guys standing here. Not because he knows them and works around them all the time, but because he was given no task but to come to me. Right? So let me go back to some of our equipment. So some of the equipment that we always have and we get common questions about is, do the dogs have a vest? Yes, every single dog has their own ballistic and stab resistant vest, which they don't wear every single time because dogs don't sweat like we do. They only sweat through their tongue by panting. That's how they cool themselves, or their paws very, very little. Me, I'm sweating right now. If this wasn't on, you'd see my girdle or my vest come off. I'd be a sweaty mess. We have the tracking harnesses that the dogs wear when we're going on track with people. A bite sleeve, and every dog has their own first aid kit, which has stuff in there to stop the bleeding, whether it be a gunshot wound, stabbing, things that make them vomit in case they ingest anything, warming blanket in case they fall through ice into chilly water, all kinds of things to save their lives. But moving on to the narcotics part, then the main thing that we do every single day is the misconceptions that we give our dogs drugs. At no point in time do we let our dogs ingest any kind of narcotics. They're not addicted to drugs in any kind of fashion. So on their days off, they're not stealing your catalytic converter and scrapping it. They're not doing anything crazy like that. It's all about that toy. So how we start this off is we take 5 empty boxes, and these empty boxes will have a drug of their choice, only one of them, whether it be cocaine, crack, heroin, or methamphetamine. We'll put their favorite toy inside that box with the drug. The dogs come around, sniff each box. They're like, oh, this box is boring, there's nothing in it, and moving on and so forth. So they finally get to the box that has the cocaine and their favorite toy. They don't know it, but when they see their favorite toy, they're smelling that cocaine. Using that for an example. We make them sit or lay down. We pull that favorite toy out. We give it to them. We talk in a very high-pitched voice. Maybe you heard me do that when I say, good boy. Talk in a very high-pitched voice. Make it a very big game. Eventually, we take the toy completely away, and the dog goes, whenever I smell cocaine and I sit, this ball appears. Dad gets real happy, and we play. I don't know why Dad likes cocaine. I'm not going to snitch on him, but every time I find it, he gets really, really happy. That's how we start off. From there, we move it out of the boxes. We put it in bags, put them in the ground, put them on shelves, and we put them in vehicles. So when it comes to the vehicles, we get a lot of questions about, well, what if the windows are rolled up and the doors are closed? Like this one here. How can the dog smell it? Well, I challenge you when you leave here today and you're driving home, how long it takes you to have to put the window down to take a fresh breath of air to breathe. It doesn't happen. There's always air coming in. So the dogs are checking the seams of the doors. or any seam on that vehicle whatsoever, because that's where that odor is going to be pushing out. Another question that we get is, well, what if I sprayed cologne or perfume? Dogs smell things individually, not together. So if you're at home and you're cooking a pizza, you smell pizza. The dog smells the marinara, the yeast, the cheese, the pepperoni, black olives, pineapples, whatever you're putting on your pizza, individually. So the dog smells the cologne or the perfume, but he also smells the cocaine separately. So it does not help whatsoever. We do a brief demonstration here with Corporal Bradley, my apologies, and Canine Cara on this vehicle. You guys are not canine handlers, but you tell me, once you see the dog work, where you think that narcotic is at. You think it's there? What's the dog doing? Just staring at that source, right? Staring at that crack. Like, if I smell this odor, this ball's gonna appear from this odor. Right? But let's fact check the dog, because it could be a blank car on his live view. Let's see what's in it. How did that happen? Okay. So we did crack. But the crack is inside the glove box, inside this jar. Inside this cloth bag. Inside the cloth bag. And inside this vacuum sealed bag. Right? So the odor doesn't matter when it comes to the fact of what you're using to mask it or hide it. The dogs always smell because it permeates through, right? How we do in training is we'll put the odor on seams to keep reaffirming to that dog that, hey, you check here, good things happen. Always check here, good things always happen when you check here. Our dogs are not certified or trained in marijuana. In fact, we put marijuana out at training all the time. The dogs don't hit on it. If they do hit on it, you tell them no, that's not part of the game whatsoever. The reason why that happens is the whole common misconception is really probably not a misconception that marijuana is a gateway drug, right? We've heard that for years. So a lot of times when these dogs are on the streets and they're smelling cars and they're finding cocaine or methamphetamine or other drugs, there's always marijuana with it. So over time, the dog's like, these odors go together. So they keep reaffirming to them, no, they don't. We're not looking for that. We're not interested in that. We're interested into the hard drugs, the cocaine, methamphetamine, and so forth. So that's how we do narcotic work. When it comes to other odor work that we do, such as tracking, how we start off with tracking is we'll take a grass field, and where I've been pacing back and forth because I have ADHD and I move a lot, it's going to smell completely different versus where no one's walked. So as I'm walking, I'm shedding my skin cells, I'm breaking each blade of grass, I'm disturbing the soil, the rubber sole for my shoes. All of those things combined are what the dogs are actually smelling for. Okay? So the whole TV shows where the dog comes up and smells like a hat or clothes and then they go off and track, there are some dogs that can do that, but that's all they do. It's a single purpose, like bloodhounds, that's all that they do. Our dogs are trying to find the freshest human odor and ground disturbance, and that's what we're tracking. That same principle applies to gravel, asphalt, concrete, carpet, all the things, all the same exact principle. Every canine handler always checks air movement. So if I was here for a real call and I had to use my dog for whatever, I'd be looking at that flag over there. Which way is the wind blowing? Okay? So keep that in mind when I explain articles. If I took a knife and I threw this knife out into this field, would it be best for me to have my dog begin searching this way or this way? Yes, because the wind is blowing towards his face. So you know those cartoons where someone's like cooking a pie or someone farts and then you see like a little green and it hits their nose, but it's like wafting through the house with the air? Same exact principle is happening with the dog. with that article. He smells all this vegetation individually. He smells the soil individually. Then he smells the metal individually. And he adds the human odor that's also on it as well. And he's like, that's what I need to look for. That's what I'm looking for, is that human odor in this grass field. That's how we do the article portion of it. When it comes to the biting portion, which all of you have been patiently waiting for this part, right? You guys want to see people get bit? So, you do it? I think you're a little too young. We don't have flavors that good. When it comes to the biting portion, we get a lot of questions about if the dogs are vicious. Can I approach you? What if the dog just bites me if I come up to you? The dogs are trained to only bite under two circumstances. One, if we tell them to, and two, if someone attacks us. It's the only two times the dogs are allowed to bite. So on this next portion, we're going to have Deputy Moore and Canine Cabo come out. We have Deputy Murray here with the bite suit. Now, this game is going to be difficult for the dog, because the dog's going to see him with the bite sleeve on and be like, oh, I know this game. I get to bite somebody. It's fun. Biting is the funnest game in the world. And it's not because the dog wants to hurt anybody. The human is the toy. But this toy is an interactive toy. It screams, it cries, it pees, it bleeds, it pulls, it tugs, it does all those kind of things versus the toy, which is kind of this rubbery chomp, chomp, chomp. But it's the ultimate toy for them. We train our dogs to be armed sure, meaning if the arms aren't available, most of us have two, go for the other one. If that's not available, most of us have two legs, go for that. If that's not available, the chest, the back, or the buttocks. We never train or teach the dogs to bite the face, neck, or groin for obvious reasons. When we send the dog, it's not to inflict pain or punishment. That's what people in the black robes get to do, right? They do the punishment part. Dogs don't have thumbs, folks. I don't know if you know that. But that's the only way that they can hold on to you is with their mouth. We also don't teach our dogs to maul. Mauling means the dog's just biting everywhere, going crazy. We teach our dogs to bite and hold. Deputy Moore and Canine Cabo, we're going to do some things. And I'll talk about those things once they're done doing them.
Sure. Triple dog there.
What you saw there was the dog knew, oh, I get to bite this person. They got a sleeve. Game one, I know this game. But the guy wasn't a threat, and mom never told him to bite. So the dog had to sit there. You saw the dog like shaking. It's called the dog is capping itself, right? It wants to do it so bad, and it's just trying to hold all his muscles together to keep it from breaking and biting. So he's literally holding himself together, right? That's what you saw with that. Another portion of this that we get common questions about is how are the dogs when it comes to people firing guns? We have guns, our partners have guns, but the bad guys have guns as well. How do the dogs react to that? Are they scared of it? Because you know a lot of dogs are afraid of like fireworks, right? But it's not so much just the sound, it's the fact that there's a bright light above them with the loud sound, and they're like, what is going on with that? So what we do is we condition our dogs repeatedly to the sound of gunfire. So if you're going to hear gunfire, they're blanks. I know we're in good old Portage County. We got enough guns. Keep yours holstered. All right, we don't need anyone pulling the guns. This is just training, training, training. It is a demo. There is no real rounds being fired. So in this particular instance here, we have Deputy Deemer behind cover with Canine Duran. Canine Duran sees this guy in a bike suit and is like, hey, I want to mess that guy up. We're going to have Deputy Sandor, who's our decoy, I'm sorry I did not introduce him. He was
not
hiding in the
gonna
back.
destroy
Doing
your
stuff. We didn't want to do the whole shoot. That's in our whole
Yeah, it's
routine.
gonna be loud.
So that's Deputy Sandor. He's helping us out with the decoy work. He's going to fire off some rounds. Does Duran care?
Nope.
But this bad guy doesn't want to give up. And now he's about to walk or run towards a school or a public area. At that point, we have no choice. We got to save lives, even if that means costing our partner kids. So, we saw the dog staying in it down. Gunfire goes off. Means nothing to the dog. No commands have been given for that dog to bite. Deputy Dealer had to make that conscious decision that, hey, this person is a threat to the public and is fleeing away. We are going to send K-9 Duran. When that happens, we then saw that Deputy Sandor fired off more rounds. Didn't scare the dog off, didn't stop the dog, nothing like that. So those are the kind of principles that we're talking about when it comes to these dogs and the amount of training with the obedience and all the other kind of fun things that we do. Something new that we're going to show you this year is what happens if a guy doesn't want to get out of the car. What do we do? So, I will tell you what we do. This is mimicking if a car fled from us, vehicle pursuit, they didn't stop. In Portage County, if you don't stop, we chase you, then we pit you. Right? So, you ain't getting away. We don't play that game. So, we pitted the car. As you see the two units there staged, they pit it and pinned it up against a building or a tree. And the backseat occupant is the one with, let's go with felony warrants. And he doesn't want to get out of the car. So what are we going to do? We have a whole bunch of kind of tools that we use to make this happen. Make him want to get out of that car. First, we carry shotguns in the back of our car that have the ability to break glass without being an actual bullet. So we've used it in real life before as well. I did. We will take that shotgun and bust out that back window from behind cover. We'll then get commands for that person to surrender. If they don't want to, we're going to introduce chemicals inside the house. Inside of the house, we do that too. Inside of the vehicle, to make that air and make that environment very uncomfortable for that person. But if that person still doesn't want to get out, or our chemical agents fail on him, then the last thing that we'll do is we'll send the dog in to get him. You're going to see how that kind of works. The door is closed, both on the driver's side and the passenger side, so the dog has to be able to jump through a window, crawl from the front seat to the back seat, find the bad guy, bite the bad guy, stay on that bite with the bad guy until the cops come in to get that bad guy out. And that's what you're going to see now. He's honking the horn. Oh, no, hey, Dad, I got him. Get up here. Our units move in.
Your hands!
Show your hands, bad guy. Get out of the car, bad guy.
Now what happens, we have all these people around him, but the dog is engaged on that bad guy. That's who he is focused on. That's his toy.
Y'all done roughed the guy up enough. That's not the cops that do. Never mind. What's that?
Each of us carry a 75-foot leash inside of our cruiser for these kind of applications just like this. We don't want the dog off the leash because what if we're in a crowded area and this guy over here all TRT'd out, right? He's big. He's big. Wave your hand. Everyone can see you. Look how big he is, right? What if the dog is like, ooh, maybe that's what I'm focused on? That's what I target lock on. We send the dog, and the dog's just running somewhere else. No, we always want to keep control of our dog as long as possible. Are there times that we take the leash off? Absolutely. If we're doing a building search inside of like a basement, we'll send our dog off leash to down there to check. And that's when they would have their ballistic vest on during that portion of it. We don't do it during these portions because this is a quick and evolving situation. We need to get our dog out. We need to get him leashed up, get our 75-foot leash out, give commands, do all these legal things that we have to do to make sure that we are in compliance with the law, that we're giving them warnings, we're giving them an opportunity to escape, to not escape, giving them an opportunity to surrender and not escape, and we are telling them the consequences of their failure to not listen to us, to not surrender. Once we meet all those criteria, that's when we send the dog, and guess we either get bit or get bit. We sell shirts like that for a reason. The other thing that we do, we saw Hawk come out and how he's focused on just me and the obedience portion of it all, right? There's only 2 times he's allowed to bite, right? If someone's attacking me or I tell him to. So in this case, Deputy Sandor is going to attack me, right? He's going to attack me. Oh, he's hurting me. Hawk, save me. I can't do it. And he comes and saves me, right? So we saw the first time he comes out, there's no threat to Dad. I'm going to go to Dad. What is my next instruction? Hawk, boost. Neil, let him. Boost time.
German.
So Hawk loves hands. We've learned this about him throughout his time with us. He loves hands. So the handlers will let me know, hey, your dog wants to work towards that hand and take some fingers off. His hands are soft. They fit in your mouth great, right? We bite our nails, do all those things, the dog. So we don't want Deputy Sandor to lose any more fingers. That happened once before to him with this dog, and we're not going to let it happen again. I'm kidding about that. The outing portion of it, we saw different types of outs, meaning the dog was on the bite, and we had to get the dog off, right? So we saw Deputy Murray do what's called a choke off, right? So we want to build that drive, like, oh yeah, you got him, but I'm taking him away. I'm taking it away. Builds the dog's drive up. We have sleeve slips where we're like, hey, you won the ultimate prize, you get to keep this prize. As you saw with Deputy Moore and K9 Cabo. Then with me, you saw me out him from a distance verbally. They have to be able to listen. They can be as excited and want to play the game as much as they want, but they have to listen. I'm going to talk about our vehicles and our equipment. You saw kind of sort of how our cars work. You notice with my car how the back seat has been completely removed and in its place is a kennel. Inside that kennel is a horse mat. It doesn't slip and slide. He's got a water bowl, slosh-proof one, so he always has water. There's a fan in that back window, and it has 2 thermometers on either side that's constantly taking the temperature of that car. So if that car reaches over 90 degrees, I'm going to get a page on my vest saying, hey, Cobra your car is getting too hot, you need to check on K9 Hulk. If I ignore it or I don't see it, my lights and sirens will start to go off. The window will drop down, the fan will turn on, and the AC will turn on to full blast. If I still don't answer or go check on them, make the car cooler, and the car keeps climbing in temperature, the last thing is that door's going to open automatically for him to escape so he doesn't expire due to heat exhaustion. So the same way that the dog jumped out when I pushed the button, will be the same exact thing that happens if that ever did occur. It's never happened in our career. Don't plan it to happen at all. Knock on wood. Our dogs do live with us 24/7, 365 days a year. We do have on-site boarding, meaning that if a handler goes on vacation, we have a kennel at an undisclosed location owned by the sheriff's office. And the dog we put in that kennel, it has power, AC, heat, lights, water, food, all those things. The handlers that are on duty will go 2 to 3 times a day, check on the dog. They have inside and outside, so they're able to go in and out at their leisure. And that's how we do it. It's a way for us to save money by just having our own kennel and spending about $500 a week for 5 days for one of our dogs. People get scared because it's a police dog, it can bite. They also see that it's a government dog, so they're like, 20% tax on that. So we got rid of that, and we just do our own boarding. And we board for other agencies as well at a pool $35 a day. I'm not trying to get rich off. We're trying to help each other out, but we got bills too. I'm going to open it up now to some Q&A, questions and answers. And then after that, we're going to do a little meet and greet with the dogs. You guys can come up and pet the dogs. I'll explain the rules of that once we get to that portion. Are there any questions? You got a shy crowd. I'm going to have like 15. I'm going to have 15 questions individually later on. I know it. All right, I'm seeing no questions.
How long have you had
Always
home?
got questions, but I'm not answering.
Theo. That's Theo. How long have you had home?
Question was, how long have I had Hulk? I've had Hulk 3 years now. My first partner was K9 Felon. I was partnered with him 7 years on the road before he retired, and then he also passed at 11 years old.
Are all the canines on the same food?
The question was, are all the canines on the same food? Yeah. Yes, for the most part. Some dogs are mixing some different foods. My dog, for example, we don't just give these dogs a bowl full of food. It's measured, right? So Hulk gets a cup and a half in the morning and a cup and a half at night with the fish oil pill. Up with his joints and his coat. We don't buy the ones that say dog fish food. That's a ripoff. Fish food. Fish oil is fish oil. I'm sorry. Fish oil. So fish oil pills. Good question. Yes, sir.
When you become a rookie and you do your job, who picks your dog? What type of dog are you allowed to have?
Question was, if I'm a rookie, who picks my dog? How do I get said dog? So we have a whole application process. And during that, we're going to pull your numbers. Are you a proactive cop? Are you a cop that likes to sit and wear the uniform and drive the car but not actually do the work? Are you aggressive? Do you know search and seizure law? Do you know case law? Are you good at writing reports? All those kind of things. And do you make sound decisions underneath stress and pressure? Because at this agency and at most agencies that have canines, each handler is the final authority on their dogs. Meaning, I can't order them to do something with their dog. They have to agree to it. Now, if they refuse my order or someone of hire's order, all they have to do is document in a report the reason why. But they can't be ordered to do it. They are ultimately the ones responsible. These handlers and these dogs are a team. So much so that when they go through their academy, which is about 6 to 10 weeks, where they learn to be a police dog, the state comes in and they have to take a test. It's called an evaluation. And it's on every single principle that they're trained in. So the obedience, the biting, the drugs, the tracking, the building searches, all those kind of things. And if they pass, they get a certification for both them, for both of them, the dog and the handler itself. So if I took K9 Hector and said, I'm going to work him now, I would not be legally allowed to do so because we are not certified as a team. I'd have to go through a whole 6 to 10 week K9 Academy with Hector before I could certify with him. The training doesn't stop there. We continue on. We're training every other week. So for a total of 18 hours a month we train, and then the state comes back every single year to re-evaluate us. So, to keep going on with your question, we look at those things. Once that happens, we interview your family. We want to talk to the wife. 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 The handler is like, yeah, she's down. She loves dogs. I love dogs. We do this together. Love is strong, right? Then I get there to the house and I talk to the wife. I hate dogs. I don't know why he's doing this. It's the last straw in the first place, but this he wants to do. All right, you ain't going to work. Because it is a family event. The dogs come home with us, so your family has to be okay with it. Your wife especially has to be okay with it. Or husband, sorry, Deputy Moore. Or husband has to be okay with it. If they're not, it's not going to work. The cost is too high for these dogs for us to be like, oh, it didn't work out, take them back. Right? So each of these handlers have to be a handler for at least 3 years. It is very uncommon that a handler will step away from it. Most of them are probably going to take a second dog. Some won't. Some will. But they're going to fulfill their commitment with this team. Do it all. Good question. Any other questions? Who picks the dog? I give a recommendation, and then the sheriff makes the final decision. His office, his dogs, his car. If you don't believe me, his name's on it. Yes.
Do they ever get to retire?
The dogs ever get to retire? Yes, they do. Common question we get is about when do they retire? It all depends on the health of the dog. Usually around 7 to 8 years of service, but it could be less, it could be more than that. But usually around 7 to 8 years of service. Not the age of the dog, but years of service. We get our dogs about a year, year and a half years old. They're not too old where they don't want to do anything, but they're not too young where they're just in puppy mode and you can't get them to stay on task. So it all depends, again, on the health of the dog. When you take my dog, Hulk, or even Hector, we have more of a flat back, so they're not going to have the issues with hip dysplasia as a German Shepherd will, right? So that's going to be a factor. Can that dog climb in and out of these big trucks all the time? Jump through windows, jump over fences, do all the things that we need him to do without him being in pain. He may be able to do it, and the next day he's like, I'm out, dude. That was rough, right? So at that point, we're going to think about that dog. And once the dog retires, we have, because the dog is property in the state of Ohio, we have to buy him back from the county. I'm not going to ask my normal questions. You guys have been here, seen a lot of familiar faces. We buy the dog back from the county for $1. It's $1 because for the exchange of property, it has to be in whole dollar amounts, so it's $1. When the dog retires with us, back with the family. The sheriff has graciously blessed each dog with a pension. So even during their retirement, the sheriff continues to feed them, provide them reasonable medical care for the rest of their life. Good question.
No, you answered my question.
Okay. Yes.
Did you have one? How old are the dogs when you get them?
Question was how old are the dogs when we get them? Usually about a year, year and a half years old. Again, like I said, they're not too old that they don't want to do anything, but they're not too young where they just are in puppy mode. Question was, what if the bad guy has a dog, and then we send our dog, and then the dogs start playing?
The dogs ain't playing.
I mean, it's cute.
That's cute.
I give it to the bad guy. No. Our dogs, we do a lot of training together, and it's called group obedience. So when no one's around and we're at our training days, we will have all of our dogs out, and our dogs will be off leash. And we'll be healing with our dogs around each other to make the dogs like, we don't care about other dogs. We're not doing this alpha male thing. We want the dogs to be neutral. Over time, that can regress when environmental factors come into play. Yeah. Such as if a handler lives next door to another dog person and that dog keeps challenging them, then the dog might be like, all right, I gotta be wary of these other dogs, right? But for the most part, the dogs are neutral. We are the ultimate, we have to, because we're a team, let me get to your question and answer your question here. Because we're a team, we have to make the best decision. So if that person has a dog, it's probably not in the best decision for us to send our dog, right? Because then if these dogs start fighting, then we have that problem to address, right? If they start playing, then I guess we can just handle the bad guy and then we'll get the dogs once they're done and tired out, right? Does that answer your question, young lady?
After they've completed their initial training, how many hours per day, per week do you spend just reinforcing the training and working with them?
Question was, after we're done with our initial training, how many hours a week, per day, whatever, do we continue to work with the dogs to keep that training up? We work with our dogs every single day. So what I mean by that is, when I'm on shift and I let him out to go potty, what you just saw where I bailed him out and he comes to me, that's how we started off. We do that, we do some healing, some long downs, where meaning I put him in a down and I walk away. He has to stay in that down for 3-5 minutes. I call him to me, halfway, he has to down again, then come to me, then sit in front of me, then run around me, sit next to me, then we play fetch. So we keep working that training every single day, obedience, over and over again. If I go into a building and I go into a door, I ain't trying to be cool through no door. You're not pulling me around. Right, so the dog has to sit, I open the door, then I tell him, now we can enter together. So that's how that is. As far as a policy standard, it's going to be 18 hours, and 16 hours a month, but we do 18. That's your question. Any other questions? Question was, who is the best sheriff that I've ever worked for? Well, duh. Sheriff Bruce B. Sapowski. That's an easy one. This sheriff, when he came in, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this story already if you've been here before. We had 2 dogs. The whole agency had 2 dogs. He loves dogs. He's a dog guy himself. He was a little skittish around canine felon. But I told him, Sheriff, he's fine. He's fine. He's still in there. He was like, no, I ain't messing with felon. And at any rate, he grew this to where it's at now. Now we have dogs on so many specialized units, working with our drug and violent crime unit, working on the streets. I'm sure you see them up on the highway or just around town on state routes or back roads. And it's been a blessing. And it is our goal with these fundraisers and stuff to keep this legacy, right? Because he can have a term. We all know about the terms, but he's trying to leave a legacy to keep this legacy going, even when he's gone, right? Not dead, but like eventually when he retires and he does things he wants to do besides run this county all the time, right? We can keep this program continue to go on, and we do that through you guys' donations.
Yay.
Again, I want to thank you guys for coming out. I want to thank you for your support. We're going to have some of the dogs out, not all the dogs, but some of the dogs out for you guys to meet and greet with. We're going to do what's called a pet line. That means we're going to make a straight line this way, facing this way towards the cars. The handlers are going to walk down. They'll be able to pet their dog. They're going to keep it moving all the way through. Okay? Can I borrow Corporal Bradley? If Corporal Bradley is sad and we're at work, so we can't go to a bar, I say, I'm sorry. I rub his back. If he does a good job, I'll pat him on the back. You did good, bud. You did good. I never touch his face. It's weird. So don't do it to my dog. Right? Leave his eyes alone. Leave his nose alone. Keep your fingers out of his mouth. Don't touch his face. Don't touch his head. If I came to him, it'd be very weird for me to be patting his head. He's a grown man. So don't do it to him either, okay? You can pat his back. He's got a tail. All the dogs have tails. No need to pull it. No matter what it is, you're not going to like the prize that you get, okay? It's not a pet dispenser, so I'm not pulling it. Just pat the back, and the lines can keep on moving. Any questions about that? All right. You guys can start lining up here, and we'll get some dogs out for you guys to pet.